Don't think of me. Do not think of my health. Eleanor is well, you see, and that must be enough for both of us.
Do you like London?
Not at all. We spent a terrible, wretched day at Harley Street yesterday, Edward, and I have much to say to you about it, which cannot be said at the moment. But why weren't you there?
I was engaged elsewhere.
Engaged? But what was that? When such friends were to be met?
Perhaps, Miss Marianne, you think young men never keep their engagements at all.
Not so. Indeed. I am sure that Edward had something very important to do to keep him from us. Did you have some pressing previous obligations, Edward? Ah! I knew it! What else could have kept you away? Oh, Edward really has the most active conscience of anyone in the whole world, you know, and would have only disappointed us had he not wanted to break his word to another. Indeed, he is the most fearful of failing expectations or causing pain to others of anyone I ever met, and he always tries to do the right thing, whether it makes him happy or not. Edward, it is so, and I would say, oh, that was so soon. Oh, this must not be.
I'm so sorry, I have appointments.
Oh, I'm afraid I must also be on my way. As you are already leaving, Mrs. Ferris, perhaps you would be so good as to see me as far as
Of course, Miss Steele. Miss Marianne. Miss Dashwood.
Well, what could have brought her here? Did she not see that we wanted her gone? Oh, how teasing to Edward.
Well, we are all Edward's friends, and he has known Lucy the longest. It is but only natural that he'd want to see her as well as ourselves.
Eleanor, you know that this is a type of talking which I cannot bear.
Oh, Miss Dashwood, have you heard the news?
No, ma'am, what is it?
Scandal in your sister's house! Scandal!
You should sit down.
Oh. I was visiting Charlotte, and her child became fussy. So Dr. Donovan was called. He examined the child, all was well. But before he left, I asked him, any news today? And he said,
For fear any unpleasant report should reach the Miss Dashwoods as to their sister-in-law's indisposition, I believe there is no great reason for alarm.
Is Fanny ill?
I asked the same thing, but he assured me she was not. But then he told me.
Mr. Edward Ferris, it seems, have been engaged about this 12th month to your cousin, Miss Lucy Steele.
Can you believe it? And then...
Yes, treasure-ly. Such wonderful girls as yourself. You must have both. It is all so diverse. Oh, I have a few potential matches. I can't seem to keep them away. Well, you mustn't keep them all to yourself. You must share with your sister. She has a beau herself, but not a soul knows of it but me. I have a vast deal I can tell you on that account. Were I so free thought.
Perhaps Mrs. Dashwood would prefer another topic.
But you are so fond of Lucy. I'm sure we have no difficulty. She is engaged now. Edward Ferris.
And then your sister-in-law threw them out of the house, and then she fell into fits. And your brother was so frightened that he called Dr. Donovan. And Dr. Donovan arrived to find the house in an uproar. And now it is all over town. Myself, I had no notion that people made such a to-do over money and greatness. Miss Marianne, are you ill?
I think my sister's feeling unwell. I should attend to her, Miss Jennings.
6.
Oh, Eleanor.
I knew, Marianne.
Has Edward written to you?
I've known these 4 months since Lucy came to Barton.
4 months!
I wanted to tell you, but
4 months. Yet you still love him?
yes, but I do not love only him. I was glad to spare my loved ones from my unhappiness. He was very young when he met Lucy, and as confined as he was by his childhood and his mother, I'm sure she was very refreshing. She can make herself agreeable when she wishes. And perhaps he did begin to see something of her true nature, but he is too honorable to call off the engagement. Why, Edward, as we've always said, is our most active conscience. He will marry Miss Steele, and I really wish him happy.
Of course, that is your way of thinking.
You do not suppose that I have ever felt much? For 4 months, I've known of Edward's engagement. Marianne, for 4 months, I've had to listen to Lucy's hopes and exultations again and again. I've never been able to confide in anyone, and now I am to be divided from Edward forever. Nothing has ever proven him to be unworthy, and now I believe he does feel something, as you say. In short, I've suffered all of the punishments of an extreme attachment without enjoying any of its advantages. If you believe me capable of feeling anything, Marianne, then surely you can imagine that I have felt this loss very deeply. My current composure is the product of my constant and painful exertion to remain in control over myself. I have done my duty, but believe me, I have been very unhappy.
Eleanor, you have made me hate myself forever. How horrible I was to you.
Oh, Marianne, promise me not to speak about this matter with the least bit of dignity. Speak only civilly and discreetly to anyone who may inquire. Yes, even Edward and Lucy. But please, Marianne.
You have heard, I suppose, of the very shocking discovery that took place on our roof yesterday. Oh, poor Fanny. She was in hysterics all yesterday. She says she shall never think well of anybody ever again. I wish with all my heart, said poor Fanny, that we had asked your sisters instead of them.
Oh, why, thank you.
We sent for Edward, but I am sorry to relate what happened. His mother explained that she would give him his independence if he would simply give up the girl and marry Miss Morton. Told him even that she would settle him in the Norfolk estate, which brings in a good 1,000 a year. But if he were to carry on and marry Miss Steele, then she would disown him entirely, and indeed, if he were to find anything of a career, she would do everything in her power to prevent him from advancing in it.
Gracious God!
Your exclamation is very natural. Edward said very little, but what he did say was in the most determined manner. Nothing should prevail on him to give up the marriage. He would stand to it whatever the cost.
Oh, well then, he has acted as an honest man. I beg your pardon, Mr. Dashwood, for I have some concern in this business, as do you, for Lucy Steele is my cousin.
But I would never speak disrespectfully of any relation of yours, madam. But the match is impossible.
Well, then, sir, how did it end?
Edward is dismissed forever from his mother's notice. He left the house yesterday. His mother determined, with a very natural kind of spirit, to give it all to Robert. Immediately. Oh, goodness. Excuse me.
This town gets worse every year. Thank heavens we'll be back in Barton soon. We'll stop for a short visit with my daughter Charlotte, but at Cleveland, and then we'll be home as quick as you please.
No, Cleveland! No, not Cleveland!
Oh, because Mr. Willoughby has property in the county, as I dare say you can see his home from a hill on Charlotte's estate. I am sorry, my dear. I've told Charlotte all about his wicked treatment of you, and her Mr. Palmer will shoot him like a pheasant on sight. You will be perfectly safe, I assure you. In fact, I'll even have Colonel Brandon escort you.
Oh, Marianne, we'll only be there for a couple days, and we shall remain inside the entire time. There is no chance that you will see him.
I must speak to you about another matter. I've heard the injustice your friend Mr. Ferris has suffered. Friend, he'd be more inclined to hear the happy news from you.
Mr. Evans for you, Mum.
So soon! Oh,
Miss Dashwood, I received a letter from Colonel Brandon stating that you needed to speak with me.
yes! Hello! Yes! Oh, yes. I have been charged with the most agreeable office. Our friend, Colonel Brandon, has desired me to say that, understanding you mean to take orders, he has the pleasure of offering you the living of Delaford. Allow me to congratulate you and to join in his wish that it may help you establish all of your views of domesticity.
Colonel Brandon?
Yes, Colonel Brandon has heard of your troubles and wishes to be any help to you, as do we all.
I'm sure I owe this to you.
You're mistaken. The cruelty of your own family has made you astonished to find friendship anywhere. You owe nothing to my solicitation.
Miss Dashwood, when I became engaged to Lucy Steele, I was rather stupid, really. Perhaps I should thank Colonel Brandon.
He's loading the carriage.
Miss Dashwood,
Mr. Ferris.
Here we are, my dears. Miss Dashwood, Miss Marianne, Colonel Brandon. May I introduce Charlotte, the prettiest of my daughters. Hey, Charlotte, we've gone so long. I'm so stiff from the carriage. I think I may take a little walk around the grounds.
Oh, it looks like it's going to rain.
It's not going to rain. Please, Eleanor, I will go mad if I do not go for a walk. I shall return soon.
Is she going to die?
I must dispatch a messenger to Bolton. My mother must arrive as soon as possible.
If you leave, I will bring the message myself. I will bring her back with me directly.
Colonel, I couldn't.
Please, Miss Dashwood, give me something to do.
Mama must not go round by London. I shall never see her.
Oh, all right. Go to Bolton and bring back our mother. Marianne, can you hear me? You cannot do this. I will not stand for it. Marianne, please. Please, dearest, you cannot leave me. That must be Mother. Oh, thank goodness.
Miss Dashwood, I entreat you to allow me to stay.
The servants must have forgotten to tell you that Mr. Palmer was not at home.
Had they told me that Mr. Palmer and all his relations were at the devil, it would not have turned me from the door. How is your sister?
You have no right to ask that.
For God's sake, tell me, is she out of danger?
We do not know.
Forgive me. I'm very drunk.
I must ask you to leave.
Is she dying? It's my fault. I know it. Please let me see her.
No!
I did not plan any of this. Did not mean to hurt anyone. When I met your sister, I thought it was only a harmless flirtation. I thought surely Marianne also knew nothing could seriously come of it. You must see, I could not seriously pursue a girl with no fortune, no station, no, forgive me, no notable family. Most pressing reality. I found myself terribly in love. I was going to ask Marianne to marry me.
Then why didn't you?
Mrs. Smith had been informed of a regrettable connection in my past.
Oh, I've heard it all, Willoughby.
I can guess who might have told me, and I was summarily disinherited. I had no...
Her in public, you exposed her to the worst kind of gossip.